What's going on, everybody? It's Devin from Head Up Throttle Down. Today we're going to be answering a question that I've been wondering for a while, and probably if you're watching this video, so have you, and that is if adding sound deadening material to the cab of your UTV is a worthy investment. Is it going to provide enough insulation to cut down on some of that ambient noise? And is it really worth the time and money that you'll have to spend in order to get this done? Let's get into it. We're going to do, in order to give this some semblance of a scientific metric that we can measure this, I'm going to do some low speed passes in front of my house, and I'm going to measure the noise that's generated in the cab. So take that with a grain of salt, because I am just using an app on my phone. I don't have any special device for measuring ambient sound, so it's probably not the most sensitive or the most accurate device for measuring this, but I still think it's going to be a hell of a lot better than just, oh, I spent some money, I did a thing, so therefore I think it works. Is it muddy out there? Look at that. How embarrassing would it have been if I got stuck just trying to go out there and get a sound bite? All right, so the data is basically showing me that the rear of the vehicle was like consistently probably about 5 decibels louder, which totally tracks, right? That's where the engine compartment is. So for installing the sound deadening, that's going to be my primary focus. I believe I have about 50 square foot. And all the estimations they give you online on about how much you need is kind of based off the size of a vehicle. So we'll go as far as we can. We'll start with the engine bay and see where we're at, and then we'll move on adding sound insulation basically until we run out of it. So we have all the data we need from the first run. We have a pretty good baseline. So let's get this install started and see what happens. So we're gonna start here in the back. See how muddy this is, guys? I just washed this too. No, I didn't. Hey guys, so what I'm doing right now is I'm disassembling the back seats, but I have taken like the access panels and the battery tray off, and I'm going to wrap them individually and then cut out the holes for the hardware because I'm trying to improve my vehicle, and I don't think it makes much sense just to slap this on top, and then if I have to do an oil change or something, I'm going to be hating my life trying to get those covers off. Hey, so one thing I've noticed is when I pulled it out of the package, it felt really stiff and kind of unyielding, but it's actually quite malleable, and it's adhered to the surface pretty easily, a lot more than I thought it was going to. I bought some really thick stuff, and I'll give you guys the lowdown on that in a second. But just something I've noticed when I've been installing it is you want to make sure that you have really clean cuts. So I was trying with scissors at first, and it was tearing a little bit. So I got out my carbon blade X-Acto knife and a straight edge. And if you can, I would say use this because it's going to give you a lot more cleaner install. These are the back 2 panels. This one's for the battery, and this one is for the engine compartment, basically so you can change your oil. So I just used some electrician's tape to just kind of protect the edges here and make sure it doesn't do any lifting if you're taking this panel on and off. And then I also drilled holes through it to make sure that my bolts could still get through, so it's not a nightmare when I go to try to change my oil. And I've only gone through about a half a box, so I'd say about, you know, like seriously, like 15 square feet. So I definitely have enough left to do the roof. Here's the back. I'm going to put those panels back on, look for any gaps, see if there's anything that I'm really missing, and then I'm going to decide. So I'm probably going to do the roof next. So I know the roof, there's probably not a ton of road noise coming up through here, but it is really thin plastic. So at the very least, it's going to make my speakers that I have mounted back here sound better by giving it a little bit more reverberation. And yeah, and I'm trying to decide, we'll see how much I have left, if I want to take these floor panels up and actually, you know, maybe try to get some of the insulation material underneath there, because I think that would help with some road noise. But anyways, guys, let's keep going. Obviously, the roof was really easy to do since it's just a simple flat surface. All right, so we're out here, and my initial impressions or it hasn't done much. I think it's done a little bit, but it's still really loud. It's a side-by-side. The doors don't seal that well. It's loud, it's noisy, it's not automotive, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be an off-road machine. But what I was going for was just trying to see if I could make it a little bit easier to have a conversation with the people inside the vehicle when you're ripping down the trail. So I think it has improved a little bit. It's not blowing my mind by any means. Like, it's still quite noisy comparative to like an automotive vehicle, but the Defender has never been that loud in comparison to other side-by-sides in the market anyways. So we're gonna take some readings, we're gonna see and look at the data, and maybe it'll surprise me, maybe it won't. Anyways, let's do it. It didn't exactly accomplish what I wanted it to. I do feel like the mats did kind of dampen some of the lower end frequency noises, such as like suspension squeaking and a little bit of the vibration. But that higher end frequency and the louder stuff, I don't feel like it really did anything to dampen that. And I don't think it's anything wrong inherently with the product itself. I think it's designed to be used in a motor vehicle application where you would say have one metal wall and another metal wall, and then you apply it to one of those walls, and then you still have that area for the sound to kind of dissipate. In the side-by-side, it's literally just one plastic wall that's separating you from the engine. So saying that, we are not giving up. We're gonna just try some other type of materials. Now I know that there is acoustic sound deadening high density foam that you can actually purchase. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find anything locally, and it would probably take a couple days to get it here. So I'm going to try to see if we can figure out a way to improve the sound isolation of the cab with stuff that I was able to find locally. So I was able to get some sound isolation board from Home Depot, and this is stuff that they just use in constructions of homes to basically just keep some sound out. So hopefully it'll work for this application. So I actually was able to also find some actual automotive upholstery. So hopefully what I'll be able to do is cut pieces of the soundboard, upholster it in this automotive upholstery, and hopefully be able to pressure fit it into some key locations in the vehicle. It will provide a little bit more space to allow those sound waves to break up a little bit more. So I'm working on a lot of supposition here. I have a very rudimentary recollection of high school science and exactly how sound waves work. Even if this video just turns out to be me showing you things that didn't work, start a conversation in the comments that will allow us to figure out some things that do work and save people time from trying things that don't work. So I stuffed this soundboard basically anywhere I could, but due to the thick size of it, it really couldn't go everywhere I wanted it to, and that's why a high density foam would be a lot better suited for something like this. I haven't done any audio testing, but I definitely right away noticed a difference. But if you ask the person who rides back there most, what do you think? Is it less noisy?
Yes. Top, top, top.
Top, top, top. You heard it from the person who rides back there, who probably has at least 2,500 kilometers in that back seat. She has noticed a difference. And don't worry, guys, because I know what you're thinking now is if she starts asking questions like, hey, are those different tires? You can still always just turn on the air conditioning.
What?
Sorry, babe, what? I can't hear you. So when I was finally able to read those audio levels, all that extra insulation basically made the readings from the front to the back the same. While it may not sound like much, reducing the noise from the engine has made it way easier to have conversations when driving around as a family. And that's really what I wanted to do at the outset of this video. So if you're going to try this, the key takeaway, or what I think the key takeaway from this, is you need to identify firstly what kind of noise you're trying to eliminate. For structural noise, like the squeaking of suspension or tire vibration, those sound deadening mats are really, really good for that, even when it's not in an automotive application. Is in order to break up that higher frequency airborne noise, you need some dense insulation. I would highly suggest not doing what I did and finding some high density closed cell foam, and combining those things should give you some really impressive results. I'll be redoing my entire vehicle utilizing some appropriate high density foam in place of that soundboard that I got from Home Depot, but I just need to move on to my next project for now. So I really hope you guys found the information in this video helpful, and until next time, keep your head up and that throttle down.